Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, doing a 7th summer 2020 update for today's second video. So here we go again, it's Sunday, and so it's time to bring you another long range update. And this week we're looking at April CET, April temperature data for summer 2021. More about that in a second. To say that the first being released today was our 7 AM upload. We've got GavsWeatherVids Sunny Roundup, your eclectic mix of this and that, coming up for you around or just after lunch. And then from 6 o'clock this evening, going to be live streaming. And on live stream, we're going to look at some long range. This is Sunday live stream. So we've got to look at some long range. We've got CFS and CanSips. And it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So I shall see you live at 6 o'clock. But of course, got this summer update to do for you. Now, I understand that a few of you wondered what the hell you was watching last week with last week's summer update. I was a little bit giddy, wasn't I? I was a little bit giddy last week. So I'll try and tone it down a little bit, because I know you all wonder what the hell am I watching last week, wasn't you? So I'll try and be calm. You tonight, today. Well, I'm recording it tonight, but you'll be watching it in the day, I suppose. Anyway, I'll try and calm down a little bit for this one. This video will not be placed on the summer updates page at GavsWeatherVids.com, because GavsWeatherVids.com is no more. So it will be placed within the playlist, though. So you'll be able to have a watch of this on demand at YouTube. It'll be placed within the Summer 2021 Updates playlist. And so you'll be able to watch it on demand whenever you want at YouTube. No written version, of course, to go with this update. Thank you so much to Rich of the fantastic Summer Updates gift. We're going to shoot! No, I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be sensible. We're going to zoom down to the beach. Thank you so much, Rich. The summer updates gift for sending us down to the beach. I think thanks to Schreier, my good friend Schreier Bruin, for getting together all of the years that we needed to create the analogue. So thank you so much to Schreier. And I'd like to say thank you so much to my good friend Simon, aka Global Warming at the Weather Outlook Forum, who has helped a lot with this update. So thank you so much to Simon for pointing me in the direction of what we're looking at, for the central temperature for this April. So thank you to Simon, aka Global Warming. Thank you to Schreier. And also thank you so much to Rich, of course, my good friend Richard Traw, for the gift. Right, shall we do it then? Let's do it, shall we? We're going to start off then just showing you what the CT was for April. April, what are we? 2021. Been a very long day. This is a CT page at the UK Met. This is showing every month CT back to 1659. Of course, central temperature is the longest and most reliable long-term temperature record anywhere on Earth. Actually, it goes all the way back to 1659, but further back you go, the more unreliable it gets. Let's scroll down to the current year then, 2021, which we will find at the very bottom, and there we see it, 6.4. was April CT, coldest April since 1986. Absolutely incredible what's happened there. Coldest April for 35 years. Who would have thought that? So, very simply, what we're going to be looking at for this first part of this 7th update is summers following Aprils with a CT range of 6.0 to 6.8. So basically, summers following cold Aprils. And now our first summer is going to be the summer of 1838. This one looks quite cold and unsettled. Deep trough of low pressure across northern and west Europe. High pressure is in the northern latitudes, and we're bringing them in from a northerly direction. So very cool and unsettled summer starts off in 1838. Our next summer, following an April CT range of 6.0 to 6.8, is summer of 1839. This one has extensive blocking within the northern latitudes, lots of high pressure in the northern latitudes, low pressure, trough of low pressure below average heights, extrapolating to low pressure, centred over UK and Ireland. That looks like it would be a very, very chilly and unsettled summer as well. That is very extensive northern blocking that we have in that summer. Our next summer is 1847. This looks a little bit better. This one has some above average heights extending through the UK and much of northern and western Europe as well. So that is a much more settled summer, potentially warmer as well, with winds in from the east. So that's a rather drier and warmer summer in 1847. Our next summer, following an April CT range of 6.0 to 6.0, of course that places summer April 2021 slap bang in the middle of that range at 6.4. Our next summer then is 1849. This is a cold and wet summer. Deep low pressure sitting over UK and northern Europe in combination with lots of northern blocking as well. In come those northerly winds. It's a cold and wet summer in 1849. Quite a long gap then, big gap. Our next summer is 1887, following an April city range of 6.0 to 6.8. This one is a rather cool summer, I think, but a little bit on the drier side. It has above average heights extending down the western side of Europe from northern latitudes, winds in probably from a bit of a northerly direction. It's probably quite a cool summer. That's rather a drier summer though, so that's one of those unusual combinations of being dry but potentially quite cool. Same can't be said for this summer. It's 1888. Deep low pressure is in off the Atlantic into northern and western Europe. It is combined with high pressure sitting within the northern latitudes. Jet streams push southwards as well. So that, of course, is a cold and wet summer in 1888. Summer of 1891 shows up next. So this one, again, very unsettled. Low pressure across northwestern Europe. It is in combination with high pressure blocking around the northern latitudes. Lots of years from a long time ago with this set of analogues. Then we have a gap to 1903, so quite a big gap to our next one. It's the first one of the 20th century. I think this one has turned up quite a lot in our summer updates this year. A little bit worryingly for anybody who wants to find summer, because this one is very unsettled with a lot of low pressure in off the Atlantic into western and northern Europe as well. Then our next summer is 1908, following an April CT range of 6.0 to 6.8. This one is a cooler, drier summer. Has higher pressure out to our west, above average heights to our west. Winds coming around that high pressure from like a northwesterly type direction. So that's a rather dry and cool summer in 1908. The next summer is 1918. So this one is a pretty poor summer as well. Deep low pressure across northern and western Europe. It is combined with some northern blocking within the northern latitudes again. The jet stream is pushed southwards, so that one is a rather wet and cool summer. Winds in from a northwesterly direction. The next summer is 1929. This follows a very cold winter, of course, and also cold spring. So this one following April CT range of 6.0 to 6.8. Again, quite a cool, wet summer. Trough of low pressure over and to the east of the country. Winds coming in from a northerly direction. That is a very chilly, wet, miserable sort of summer. Our next summer is 1936 with low pressure. Average heights, again extrapolating back to low pressure, extending down western side of Europe. Higher pressure to our northwest and also to our northeast as well. That's a cold and wet summer. It has a particularly wet July, 1936. Oh, you don't see me. That's a particularly wet July in 1936. Very, very cool, wet month. 1941 shows up next for an April CT range of 6.0 to 6.8. This was a little bit drier, has some higher pressure to our southwest and also to our north. Of course, this is in the middle of the trilogy of very cold winters in the early 1940s, but summers were pretty cool as well. But we have seen worse than that in this update. And this is worse than that as well. This is summer of 1951. This is a cold, wet summer as well, with below average heights, low pressure again, extending through northern and west Europe. We're on the cool side of a jet stream here, sending the jet stream southward, so very, very unsettled summer in 1951. Bit of a gap then through 1970, so the summer of 1970 is very, I better careful what I say actually, because we've got a historic video coming up about 1970, but actually we don't cover the summer in part one. We finish up in the spring of 1970. So I'm okay, I think. The summer of 1970 is front-loaded, has high pressure over Scandinavia, has hot easterly winds in June, and then it sort of deteriorates later on in the summer. We've got summer of 1978 showing up next. It's following the teaser winter of 77, 78, and before the very cold and snowy winter of 78, 79. The summer of 1978 is cool and unsettled, particularly wet across the northern central parts of Europe. We aren't extremely wet. We're close to this area of high pressure to our northwest. It is a very cool summer. The winds tend to be from the northwest and often unsettled. Not a washout summer, but a very poor, very cool, just very uninspiring sort of summer in 1978. Now, this is the first genuinely hot summer that we've seen, I think, within this package of analogues. This is 1983, with this big area of high pressure centred over the top of the UK. And for a long time, July 1983 was the hottest July on record, but it was eventually beaten, of course, by July 2016 and 2018 as well, I think, beat it. So, 2006, I should say, 2018. So, very hot July, but it's a hot summer in 1983. That is our first so genuinely hot summer that we've seen. It follows an April City range of 6.0 to 6.8. And then look at this, we get another pretty good summer for our next analog, which is 1989. Again, following an April City range of 6.0 to 6.8. This one, not quite as good as 83, but nevertheless, it does have high pressure, above average height centred over UK. Again, it contains a hot July in 1989, very interestingly. And that's the last time, actually, but we have an April with a city range of 6.0, 6.8, because generally April has tended to be one of the months that has warmed up dramatically, really, through the 1990s, through 2000, through the last decade as well, over the last 30 years. April is one of the months that really has warmed up very, very dramatically. So that's the last time, 1989 is the last time we have, like a notably cold April, really. Right, so let's start bringing all that together. Then this is how all Junes combined are looking, following April with a city range of 6.0 to 6.8. It's a relatively anticyclonic signal for the Junes, actually, with higher pressure sitting over to the northern country. Winds tend to be coming in from more of an easterly direction. So a relatively fine start to these summers would be expected. But then there's a deterioration for all Julys combined, following April city range of 6.0 to 6.8. We get blocking appearing to the north, and low pressure sets up over and to the east of the country, which pulls the wind in to more of a northerly direction, so cool and wet for the Julys. And it gets even worse for the all August combined. Look at this, low pressure sets up over northern and west Europe, winds in from the north again with a mid-Atlantic ridge, so a cool, wet signal for July and August after a relatively warm and dry June. All summers combined, following April with a city range of 6.0, 6.8, look like this. Again, just very mixed, quite cool, winds in from a north-northeasterly direction. We do get a decent June, but after that it's downhill all the way. Of course, this package of analogues did contain a lot of years from the 1800s, so let's start narrowing things down to just look at the years post-1950 and see if that makes any difference. These perhaps a little bit more relevant to the current climate. So again, this is how all Junes combined are looking, following April with a city range of 6.0 to 6.8 post-1950. We tend to set up high pressure over Scandinavia again, bring wind in from the east, so still a relatively dry and quite warm signal for those Junes. All Julys combined, nowhere near as bad post-1950. This is interesting. Nowhere near as bad. We have the high pressure, the above average heights over and to the west of the country, probably sending a jet stream on a northwest southeast alignment, so could be a little bit on the cool side, but much more anticyclonic signal there for those Julys. And to be honest, August does it as well. All August combined post 1950, clearly having more in the way of above average heights to our north and northwest. So maybe this package of analogues, if we look at the more relevant years after 1950, not quite as bad. Maybe not quite as bad as like the overall analogue package. That's probably almost certainly actually because it contains 1983 and 1985, which are both decent summers. And of course, June 1970 was very, very fine as well. We do have 1978 and 1951, which were both very poor summers. Just have a look at all summers combined, then finally, for this package. So this is how all summers combined are looking for an April with a city range of 6.0, 6.8 post 1950. And look at this. Above average height sitting over into the west of the country. Lots of low pressure to the north. But overall, a more anticyclonic signal. Little bit of a twist in the plot there. You wasn't expecting that, was you? Admit it. Come on, admit it. You wasn't expecting that little twist there, was you? But after 1950, we get a little bit more higher pressure. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm going to pause the video there. And we've got a little bit more to show you in a second. You get yourself a cup of tea and some nibbles. And we'll see you in around 2 seconds' time. Hello there. Hello, good evening. No, good morning. Well, this evening I'm recording this, you see. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Hello to all of you. Thank you so much for being with us on this 7th. I don't know what I'm saying, really. So thank you so much for being here on this 7th Summer 2020 update. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Thank you so much for being here on this 7th Summer 2020 update. So before the break, we was looking at summers following April's with a CT range of 6.0 to 6.8. We've established that the overall package of analogues, which has a lot from the 1800s, favours like a cold and wet summer, but with a big twist at the end, that if you just narrow things down to look at the summers after 1950, they get a darn sight drier and warmer, really. I've got a little bit more to show you, though, so let's crack on. Let's crack on. If you're enjoying this 7th Summer 2020 update, by the way, please smash your like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tell your friends and family about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe as well. Drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, let's crack on. Let's do it. Right, so the last thing we're going to look at for this update will be March and April. We're back on the CT page at UK Met. 2021, March 2021 has a CT of 7.2. Quite a mild month. April 2021 has a CT of 6.4. So April turns out to be colder than March, which is a little bit unusual, but it does happen sometimes. So, very simply, what we're going to look at for this final part, this final section of the 7th Summer 2020 update will be, it's going to be, what are we going to be looking at? Oh, yeah, that's right, we're going to be looking at summers following April's that were colder than the March before it. Not all that many to get through. You don't want to see that. You want to see that. Not all that many to get through, but there are a few. We're back to 1903. Look at this. We saw it earlier on with the CT of 6.0 to 6.8 for April. It's back again. This time for April's colder than March before it. So again, very, very unsettled. Lots of low pressure in the North Atlantic across Northern Europe. Jet stream is pushed southwards. There is a little bit of northern blocking as well. So a cool and wet summer for 1903. Let's start closing down some of these tabs, shall we? The next summer that we've got is 1936. We saw it earlier on. So again, so we go from 1903 to 1936 the next time that April is colder than the March before it. So that just to show how unusual it is, because we're in a warming time of the year, so it's quite unusual for April to be colder than the March before it. So summer 1936, as we explained, is a very, very wet summer. Lots of low pressure across northern and western Europe as well. It contains a particularly wet July. July 1936 is one of the wettest on record. 1938 next, so just 2 years on, we get another incidence of April being colder than March before it. This time it happens because March 1938, I think, is an exceptionally warm month, exceptionally mild month. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, the summer of 1938 is very wet and unsettled. Again, deep low pressure extending down the western side of Europe. It does have high pressure in the middle of the Atlantic, sends ejection on northwest southeast alignment. So summer of 1938 is cool and wet summer. Then we have another really long gap to 1957. The next time April comes out colder than the March before it is the summer of 1957. This time again with a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland, trough of below average heights to our east, and again winds in from a northerly direction. So that's a cool and wet summer. It does have quite a hot June though. In 1957. So June 1957 contains the only real heat of that particular summer, and then it deteriorates through the rest of the summer. Another long gap to 1978. So again, this is following the teaser winter of 77, 78, and before the extremely cold winter of 78, 79. The summer of 1978 itself, as we said, is a very cool summer. It's a mixed summer. It's not a washout, but it is a mixed summer. Quite unsettled, and has high pressure to our north and northwest, and low pressure to our south and southeast. A very forgettable summer in 1978. The next summer is 1981. So next time we have April cold and March before it. It's again just a couple of years on in 1981. Of course, April 1981 has a fantastic blizzard right at the very end of the month. The last time that we had like widespread snow across the whole country at the end of April was in 1981. It's before a very cold winter again for 81, 82. I say no more than that. As this is a summer update and a winter update, but interesting analogues these. Above average heights to our west in this summer, below average heights to our northeast. It's a cool summer, winds in from a northwesterly direction, and it's a dry summer as well, so cool and dry, which is a bit of an unusual combination for summer. Next one is 1989. We saw it earlier on. It's back again. So yes, April 1989 was colder than the March before it. This is a decent summer with plenty of high pressure over to the west of the country, low pressure up to the north, so it does contain a hot July. The next summer is 1990. This is a good summer as well, although the analogue doesn't look that good, does it? You look at that and think it was an unsettled summer. I mean, we've got northern blocking going on up here, we've got low pressure out to our northwest, but this high pressure to our southwest gives it away. What happens in the summer of 1990 is that we have a wet and quite cool June, and then a rapid increase in temperature and pressure through July and August, culminating in a very hot spell of weather at the end of July and into the first half of August. And of course we have a very hot August overall in 1990. Got 1991 next, rather unusual summer to be appearing. This one, just haven't seen it, I don't think at all so far. This one, quite an unsettled summer, very backloaded with this summer. So again, early on, June 1991 is notably cold and dismal. And then it improves. August 1991, while it's not as hot as August 1990, is nevertheless still a relatively dry and warm month overall. And then we've got 1998 showing up next. So the summer of 1998 looks like that, with below average heights over and to the east of the country, combined with a mid-Atlantic ridge sending the wind into the north. That's a cool and wet summer in 1998, or cool and unsettled anyway. So putting all of that together, actually I think we're also missing one year there. We're missing 2012. So I tell you what, I've got it loaded up. I'm going to show you the summer of 2012 because why not? You want to see everything, don't you? So let's just get that one up for you as well. Okay, here we go. This is it then. This is the analogue for the summer of 2012. Because I had to show you this, didn't I? Because this is the last time that April was colder than the March before it. And so we have to show you the full range, don't we? So it's a good job I noticed, but it was missing. This is it then. So the summer of 2012, of course, is a cold and wet summer. Very, very dismal summer indeed, with deep low pressure over northern and west Europe, including UK and Ireland as well. It is in combination with extensive high latitude blocking. We do have quite a bit of high pressure across southern, southeast Europe. So for southern eastern Europe, it's probably quite a hot summer, drawing up the wind from Africa. But for the UK and for Ireland, it's a washout. It is our last sort of washout summer, actually, in 2012, and it does follow like an April that was colder than the March before it. So that's the last time that it happened, that we had April colder than March. Right, so you've seen this already, but let's look at it again. This is how all Junes combined are looking following April's that are colder than the March before it. Very unsettled for these Junes. The deep low pressure over UK and much of Northern Europe as well. There's northern blocking going on too with these Junes. Jet streams being shoved southwards, so a cold, wet June is indicated there when April is colder than the March before it. All Julys combined don't get a great deal better, let's be honest. Deep trough of low pressure over into the east of the country, a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland. Again, winds in from a northerly direction, quite a cool, cold, wet signal for the Julys. Let's see how all August is shaping up. It's probably the best of a bad bunch. We get higher pressure with the August to our southwest, lower pressure up to the north and northeast. We send the jet stream northwards a little bit as well. So the August do have a slightly higher pressure signature. They aren't particularly classic by any means. You know, they're not much to write home about, to be honest. But on their own terms, perhaps these Augusts are a little bit better. Promise something a little bit better. And then lastly, all summers combined following April's that are colder than the March before it. Again, with deep low pressure over and to the east of the country, in combination with high latitude blocking, turning wind into the north. If it can go wrong, it does go wrong really with these summers. Cold and wet. August is definitely the best of a bad bunch. Even that isn't all that great. But June and July in particular are write-offs, to be honest, with these summers, when April is colder than the March before it. And we're done. There we go, everybody. 26 minutes. And we've come to the end of the 7th summer 2020 update. What do you think about that, everyone? What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. Right, we've got a couple more updates to bring you over the next couple of weeks. And then we're going to be releasing our summer forecast on Sunday, the 30th of May. So I think we've got 3 weeks now until we release our summer forecast. So we're getting towards the business end. We're at business end now of these updates. And we'll see. You know, we've still got to look at QBO. We've still got to look at ENSO. So we've got a lot of very important, critical stuff to show you in the next week or two. We're probably more or less done with April data. We might try and do a little bit of pattern matching next week. I'll see about that. Right then, so that's it for the 7th Summer 2020 update. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and let me know in the comments what you think. Share the video far and wide. If you think there's anybody that would be interested in this, then share it wherever you want. You can post on your Facebook pages and whatnot. And thank you so much to all of you. We're going to be summer video will be placed within the summer updates playlist on YouTube as well. By the way, and we're going to be back later on with GavsWeatherVids Steady Round, we're live streaming from 6 o'clock. You can let me know in live stream what you think about this update. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that, and I shall see you live from 6 o'clock for the 7th Summer 2020 update. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.